perimeter of that bag, cleaning the walls of the sewer. We've done that for all sizes of sewers. We've been doing it for 8-inch sewers for as long as the agency's been around, as well as very large sewers in the 72-inch size. So we use these bags quite a bit. The problem with the smaller ones is we were getting into situations where you'd have to wait a long time to what we call build water, which is developing head on the upstream side. And during those times, you'd have to wait, and you'd have two vehicles standing by, you'd have a crew standing by, everybody waiting for enough water to build so that you can advance this bag forward. Another problem we had with it is we actually caused sewer overflows, unfortunately, when these bags would accumulate enough debris in front of them where it would plug off the small diameter sewer, and then you'll end up with a sewer overflow. And on top of that, we also have issues with safety. You know, you look at the force that that bag is going to be pulled on, and you have that steel cable which comes up off of that winch on the end, and you can imagine the guys working around that winch can get, if they're not careful, can get hurt. And so this is something that we've been looking at for the last couple of years, and we've decided to go with what everyone else is doing. Small diameter lines should be cleaned with jetters. Oh, just really going back to that, this is just roots in the sewer system. And, we used to try and use bags to clean these roots, but as you might imagine, sewer bags aren't going to be too effective with these types of roots. We used to use cutting devices. So we used to pull these things through. And this is all before we had jetters. You know, one of the things that some agencies are surprised is that, you know, we didn't have combination jetters up until 2002, somewhere in 2001, somewhere in that time frame. A lot of other agencies have had jetters for many, many years. And it wasn't until about that time frame, 2002, that we actually started getting combo jetters. And it was because it was believed that the bag cleaning was effective, and you know, but it was pretty easy for us to prove that jetters can do a lot more footage in a lot less time for a lot less money. So prior to that, though, this is the type of equipment that we use. And then we also use chemical root control. We've tried this. We actually don't use it anymore, and it's primarily because we use the jetter now, and we have 3 of these, and we're looking at ordering 2 more to completely eliminate our reliance on bag cleaning small diameter sewers. So with 2 more combination units, we should be able to handle all of our small diameter sewers using this equipment. That's going to reduce our fleet costs, because now we don't need twice as many vehicles. It also reduces our crew size. You only need 2 instead of 4 for a bag cleaning operation. We'll still utilize the bag cleaning operation, but that's for larger diameter sewers. We'll have to use it for that, because these machines are not really effective for the larger sewers. Corrosion control, magnesium, the use of magnesium hydroxide. This is what this is. And we use magnesium hydroxide to extend the life of our sewers. This particular sewer is a clay tile line sewer, and you know, just going right back to that right road, we find out, and we should know this, is that you can't spray clay tile line sewers and expect that the clay tiles are still not going to fall off. I mean, you're just spraying magnesium hydroxide on clay. It continues to corrode from behind, but once the clay tile line sewers have fallen off, then you can help with mitigating some of the corrosiveness on the crown of the pipe. We crown spray about 300 miles of sewer every year. We do a portion of it, and the contractor does the other portion of it. And the idea is to spray an alkaline slurry, high pH material, on the crown of the pipe to neutralize the sulfuric acid that's formed when bacteria convert sulfate in the wastewater to sulfide, and ultimately convert it to sulfuric acid. So the idea with crown spray is neutralize that acid by putting base on it, essentially. And if you don't, this can happen. Now, you know, we used to, when we did man entry, we used to core concrete sewer lines. and try and understand corrosion rates. This was all done like in the 1970s, 1980s. We found that concrete corrosion prior to the 1970s was at about a 1/4 inch every 20 years. After heavy metals were eliminated from discharges of industrial waste discharges, we had corrosion rates of a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch every year. So the acceleration of that corrosion really led to situations such as this. So things that we saw that were okay 10 years ago, like the right road trunk, are now looking more and more like this. And ultimately could look like that. That actually is not our sewer line. Those are our guys, but that's not our sewer line. But you know, you don't want to have to react to this. And unfortunately, I've had the pleasure of having to react to similar events like this. And usually they happen right after rain events. I told Vicki one time, you know, she said, "Oh, good, you know, all the rain stopped. We don't have to worry." And I said, "No, wait 5 days. If there's no sinkhole, then you don't have to worry." That's how she found her first sinkhole. You know, a few days later, we found it. It's because essentially the lines are surcharged. It gets to that soil that's unprotected and pulls the soil down. Eventually, you'll end up with a sinkhole and a collapse. So this is just the crown spray process. It's an alkaline slurry. We sprayed concrete and non-reinforced concrete sewers. About 400 miles are on the program. Not all 400 miles are sprayed every year, though. Some are sprayed twice a year. Some are sprayed every other year. The majority are sprayed every year. We do monitor that crown pH. So every year, when they go back out, the crews go out, they'll put pH paper and see where the pH is. And if it's still remaining high, then we could possibly extend it a little further. But we've already done that lead work, so we know which sewers should be on a 1-year frequency and which ones should be more frequent. But this is also something that we're going to look at again. Should it be maybe it can last a year and a half, maybe not quite 2 years. But monitoring it becomes really important, trying to understand how quickly the magnesium hydroxide is used up. Comes into play. And then this is just a schematic of what it looks like. It's just pontoon similar to what we had with the CCTV camera, and we'll spray it. We don't always CCTV it after we spray it. We do that on occasion to ensure that we got the right coverage. We end up pulling it at a certain rate that should give us a certain mil thickness, and that's really the process that we've been using for since the 1990s, maybe. And finally, that crown spray truck. This is our truck. We've gotten to the point where we've reached the life expectancy of this truck, maybe in another year or two. It's starting to break down, starting to cost us a lot of money to maintain. So now we have to decide, is this something that we actually can do cheaper than a contractor? Again, we pay a contractor to do this $2 million a year. But we do a portion of that. We spend about $600,000, $700,000 on chemical and pay our own staff to do it. Preliminarily, it looks like a contractor could do it less expensive than we can. If we have to invest $300,000 on another vehicle, maintain it, keep the crews, maybe this is where we find staff to handle our CCTV that we want to do, and maybe we contract this out entirely. So this is kind of the thinking that's going on, at least in terms of our crown spray program. And then when you look at those 3 programs, how much we do every year, we average about 600 miles of sewer cleaning. That's with the contractor's assistance there. The contractor's been doing about 80, 90 miles for us every year. Our crown spray production went down last year. That's not because we had, it was more contractual problems that we had. Getting the material, getting the contract executed, not so much because we just wanted to do less. And CCTV inspection in the late 04, 05, 06, that's really when we had made our commitment to the EPA to TV all of the lines that were TVable. So that explains a little higher rate. Now we're kind of leveling off, where we're working more with the frequency that we developed in response to the administrative work.